Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Want to give you some breaking news on Mason Greenwood. So Mason Greenwood has been charged with attempted rape, controlling behaviour and assault. Mason Greenwood was arrested today for allegedly breaching bail conditions. Revert back to January, Mason Greenwood was arrested on suspicion of rape, assault and making threats to kill. Mason Greenwood was suspended by Man United back in January. But reflecting on the news that's come out about Mason Greenwood today, Man United have come out with an official statement. Mason Greenwood's career at Manchester United is officially over. And you can't condone what he's done. But, Greenwood was a good player for Manchester United. He's still young. He's only the age of 22. He made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. Obviously was a United player since the age of 7. At one point, Greenwood signed a 4-year contract with Manchester United. So, that's the news regarding Mason Greenwood. Manchester United do play Newcastle United at Old Trafford tomorrow. It's a 2 o'clock kickoff. It will be a tough game for Manchester United because, like I said on the preview, my predictions and that, Newcastle are in form at the moment. They've got 9 goals in the last 2 games. Newcastle won their last game against Brentford 5-1. And they beat Fulham away 4-1. So Newcastle are a decent outfit now. Don't forget, Newcastle are the richest club in the world after they had that takeover by the Saudi Arabian group. Obviously, before the Saudi Arabians come in, Mike Ashley was Newcastle's owner. He was a cunt. And obviously, Newcastle fans criticised him for such a long time. Mike Ashley was Newcastle's owner for around 13 years. And credit to Eddie Howe. I think he has turned Newcastle around. Eddie Howe is Newcastle's manager. He signed a long-term contract with them at one point. He got appointed in as the Newcastle manager back in November last year. So he's been the Newcastle manager for almost a year. And he's made quite a few signings as the Newcastle manager. He's been backed by Newcastle. Before Newcastle, Eddie Howe was at Bournemouth. He was a long-serving manager at Bournemouth. He endured 2 spells with them. And at one point, he endured a spell with Burnley. Of course, Eddie Howe replaced Steve Bruce because obviously Newcastle ended up sacking Steve Bruce. And at one point, Newcastle had Rafa Benitez. And to be honest with you, I thought they were consistent under him. And a lot of Newcastle fans were disappointed when he resigned. But the reason he resigned is because he wasn't getting backed enough by the board. And a long time ago, Newcastle had Alan Pardew, but they ended up sacking him. The players Newcastle have got, they've got the likes of Jacob Murphy, Alexander Isak. He's ruled out for this game. Newcastle got Alexander Isak from Real Sociedad. Callum Wilson, he's a former Bournemouth player, so he's reuniting with Eddie Howe at Newcastle. Ryan Fraser, he's also a former Bournemouth player. Again, he's also reuniting with Eddie Howe. Miguel Almiron, he's a good attacking player. Alain Saint-Maximin. To be honest with you, he's probably one of the best players Newcastle have got. But, you know, there's some people that don't really rate him. Chris Wood, he's done well. Newcastle got him from Burnley. I thought Chris Wood was very good when he was at Burnley. Before Burnley, he was at Leeds. That Bruno Guimaraes has made an impact at Newcastle. He scored twice in Newcastle's 5-1 win against Brentford. Joseph Willock, I think Newcastle got him from Arsenal. They've got Elliot Anderson. Sean Longstaff is a midfielder. He's good. He's brothers with Matty Longstaff. John Joe Shelvey, he's been out with injury. He's a former Liverpool and Swansea player. Joe Linton, he's good. Lascelles, Jamal Lewis, Newcastle got him from Norwich. Matt Ritchie, he's been out with injury. Daniel Byrne, Newcastle signed him from Brighton. Kieran Trippier, they got him from Atletico Madrid. He's a defender. Seven Botman, Newcastle signed him this year. Matt Targett, Newcastle also got him from Aston Villa. Emil Kraft, he's out with injury at the moment. Newcastle's first choice goalkeeper is Carl Darlow. He's been out with injury. Pretty good keeper, to be fair. Another goalkeeper Newcastle have got is Nick Pope. Newcastle got him from Burnley, and they've got 2 other goalkeepers as well. So there are a lot of the players Newcastle United have got. Don't forget, Newcastle let Federico Fernandez go. They loaned Matty Longstaff out to Colchester. Before, Newcastle loaned Matty Longstaff out to Aberdeen. Like I said, his brothers were Sean Longstaff. Newcastle let Isaac Hayden go. They let Kieran Clark go. Don't forget, they loaned Martin Dubravka out to Man United. Man United do have the option to buy Dubravka for around 5 million at the end of the loan. Dubravka's not yet made one appearance for Man United. He's just a backup, isn't he, to number 1 David De Gea. Dubravka had a not for Man United not so long ago. So there you go. Manchester United won this fixture against Newcastle at Old Trafford last season 4-1. Like I said, Man United have got players missing. Martial's injured. I think Ten Hag's provided us with an update on Martial. Could play a part in this game. Martial came off injured in the first half in the 2-1 win against Everton at Goodison Park. And Wan-Bissaka's injured, but he won't start anyway. No way back for him in the team because Diego Dalot is our first choice right back. Harry Maguire's still injured. Again, he wouldn't start because he's not been one of our first choice centre-halves since the arrival of Lisandro Martinez. Brandon Williams is injured. He's been out of injury for a while, but he doesn't get in the team. Donny van der Beek, of course, has been out with a knock. And Scott McTominay is, of course, suspended for this game. Manchester United, though, are coming into this game on the back of a 1-0 win against the Morning Nicosia at Old Trafford in the Europa League. The goal against the Morning Nicosia at Old Trafford came from Scott McTominay in the 93rd minute of stoppage time. You know, he saved Manchester United from humiliation because Man United almost got embarrassed by Morning Nicosia twice. In the game away at Morning Nicosia, Manchester United had to come from behind. But in the game at Old Trafford, I give a lot of credit to their goalkeeper because he made some splendid saves and he is a boyhood Manchester United fan, isn't he? But Man United in that game had a total of 34 shots. We had around 12 or 13 of them shots on target. But all that matters is we got the win, and reflecting on the win against the Morning Nicosia recently, that was 3 wins out of 4 in the group stage. Man United are going to qualify for the knockout stages of the Europa League. Man United won the last league game against Everton, 2-1 at Goodison Park. Reflecting on that, that was 5 wins in the last 6 Premier League games, and we ended Everton's 2-game winning run. But like I said on my predictions, I'm expecting Manchester United to beat Newcastle, even though Newcastle are pretty good now. Erik Ten Hag. He's said quite a few things, hasn't he, in the last few weeks. After the game against the Morning Nicosia at Old Trafford, Erik Ten Hag praised his side's creativity and scoring capabilities. And he praised Scott McTominay as well for obviously getting that goal. Revert back to after the game against Everton at Goodison Park. Erik Ten Hag called Man United players to be more clinical after Everton win. And after the 3-2 win against the Morning Nicosia, Erik Ten Hag did make an admission saying that Man United are not good enough. But yeah, Erik Ten Hag, you know, he's a good manager. You know, he's been the Man United manager now for quite a few months. I've not once prejudged him since he became Man United manager. Even though there has been some games, perhaps, where he's got some decisions wrong. But on the other side of things, there's been games this season where I've given him credit because there's been some games where I like the way he's approached them. Ten Hag needs time at Man United. You know, this is his first full season. He knew when he'd taken over the reins at Man United it was going to be a massive job, and he had big expectations to exceed. You know, if Ten Hag can get Man United a top 4 finish this season, I'd underline that and say that's a good first full season. If he was to win a trophy as well, that would be even better. Man United have not won a domestic trophy for 5 years or so, more than 5 years. Last time won a domestic trophy was back in 2017. Not so long ago, Erik Ten Hag got named Premier League Manager of the Month. He replaced Rangnick earlier on this year, didn't he? He's under contract to Man United till 2025. There's an option to extend for the further year. He's Man United's 5th permanent manager since Ferguson. Erik Ten Hag has made 6 signings as Manchester United manager. He recommended Terrell Malacia, Martinez, Eriksson, Casemiro, Antony and Martin Dubravka. We spent over 200 million this year. Ten Hag's also let players go as well, but despite that, he's still inheriting deadwood. A few weeks ago, Ten Hag revealed his transfer plans for January. He said Man United will continue to hold meetings over strengthening the squad. He said Ten Hag's going to get a transfer budget of around 70 million. The January transfer window will be Ten Hag's 2nd transfer window as Man United manager. As you all know, we've got to get the Glazers out of the club because they've been a massive issue at the club for a long time. And for a long time, Man United fans have been protesting against the Glazers. The Glazers have owned the club since 2005. Don't forget, the Glazers recently set a price of 9 billion to consider selling Manchester United. Don't forget, Sir Jim Ratcliffe did say that the Glazers don't want to sell Man United. Sir Jim Ratcliffe did admit that he would have bought Man United in the summer if the club had been up for sale. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is one of Britain's richest men, and he's the chairman of Ineos. Don't forget, for quite some time, Michael Knighton's been interested in buying the club, and he's well known for his involvement in Man United and Carlisle. And earlier on this year, Elon Musk joked about buying the club. Obviously, we've got John Murtaugh and Richard Arnold. John Murtaugh's our director of football, and Richard Arnold's our CEO. We've got Benny McCarthy at the club. Mitchell van der Gag and Steve McLaren. They've been working alongside Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag was the one that recommended them in. Earlier on this year, Sir Alex Ferguson came back to Man United in an advisory role. So there you go. So there guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very soon.